We're back for another BDH Trader Talk with my good friend and, well, previous arch enemy, the man, the myth, the legend, NuttyBar Trading. First off, NuttyBar, you got to just tell us. You got to tell us. The world wants to know. How did you come up with such an amazing name for a YouTube channel for about day trading?
Oh, man. I get asked that. I get asked that a lot. I feel kind of dumb even answering it, but basically, it's very simple. Nutty bars. I love nutty bars. And every morning I get up and I used to, currently on a diet, but get up, coffee, and I have my nutty bar. And that's kind of how I started. And then I used that name kind of when I set up a gaming or video gaming, whatever, like I'm NuttyBar, like my online persona. So yeah, from there I went, started trading, and I was like, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to document my journey. And I did not put much thought into actually my name.
You never knew you were going to be this famous.
I did not. I really didn't. I was
Would you have had a different name? What would be your other name?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I can't change it now.
No, you
obviously,
can't.
But no, I the first thing that came to my mind was NuttyBar. So I'm like, NuttyBar Trading. It makes sense, and I stuck with it, and you know, it's been crazy. I did not expect to be where I'm at. It's almost been 2 years now, so
well, I mean, I'm sure you were not expecting to be at the BDH one day.
No, I did not see that coming.
Yeah,
I did not.
Let's give a little backstory on that. So I think me and you we started out as friends. Like I think I found your channel, and I kind of I thought, you know, I was kind of like in your chat, kind of like trolling a little bit. But it was like a friendly, like, you know, here's my little guy, and then it kind of turned sour at one point.
It did. I'll admit, I came after you a couple times. And
why do you think people come after me so hard?
I mean, obviously,
I'm the biggest and the largest. I got a target on my back.
Yeah, I think so. It's also, I think, your personality a little bit. You're very out there. You say a lot of things, and you're great at getting people engaged and getting reactions. So, you know, naturally, people are going to talk about you, and so yeah. I mean, it started out like that, and it's crazy to think that we're now here at the BDH with you, and now getting to know you a couple of days, and it's been great.
I kind of already asked them this before, but for our viewers at home, what was like the first catalyst to starting to day trade? Like, what was your like first real reason to like? How'd you even find out about trading?
Oh man, I did a little bit of futures trading like 10 years ago. Actually, it's probably closer to 15 years ago, and I blew up. And I kind of gave it up. I was like, this is not for me. And I didn't look at it until like actually close to 3 years ago. And I was just surfing on YouTube, and it came up as a recommended channel or a recommended video, something with prop firms. And I'm like, what is this? So I click on it, I watch it. I don't even remember what video it was or whose, and once I understood how the prop firms work, I was like, man, that's actually a genius idea to do. And it gives me an opportunity to learn how to trade and keeping my expenses relatively low in doing so. And I jumped in, and the rest is history. Here we are. We're still learning. Still learning.
There it is. All right. So you first started a YouTube channel, and you didn't really have like a goal of becoming like a super affiliate.
No,
did you? Like that wasn't like
not at all. I remember I was actually at one point, I was like, I don't even know if it's worth being an affiliate, but I saw other people's channel, other people doing it. So I figured it's probably a good idea to do it. And so started doing that. But yeah, it's been a real blessing with affiliates and growing the channel and just the support, the community support.
Do you remember wonderful. Like some of your first like viewers, like their names still?
Oh yeah, I still have like from my first. I actually did a giveaway here a couple months ago where you had to, in order to enter the giveaway, you had to be at least a year-long subscriber or more, and there was like quite a bit of entries, so I still remember the names, and shout out to you guys.
There you go. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Like I tell people, like,
It is.
yeah, obviously it's fun to have a YouTube channel, but like, doesn't really matter if you have no one watching.
True.
So you got to like cultivate a community. You've got to kind of get your name out there. You got to build something. And I mean, big props to you, obviously, for doing what you've done. You built your business to where you're at. I know it's not always easy to be in the spotlight. It's even like today, you know, we're trading here at the BDH, and the chat is so quick to, you know, be your worst enemy. They also, it's like it's kind of like back in the day with Rome, right? They're so quick to hate you and love you, depending on how you do. But every day, like, you know, like we said, there's going to be red days. There's going to be red trades. It's just part of it.
Yep.
How do you get over that as a trader personally? Like, how do you basically stop yourself from blowing up when you have a small red day?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part. It's when you have green trades and you're green, it's easy to walk away. But for me, it's always been the hard part is walking away when you have a red day. And, you know, you can keep trading and you might make it back and you might make it into green. But if you always keep trading until you're green, it's inevitable that eventually you will blow up. And you just got to learn to walk away. I guess enough pain. Like once I went through enough pain that I was like, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's change. You have to change something. And that's where I started. I still struggle with a tilt session now and then, but it's far and fewer between. And just got to learn to walk away, I guess. It's easier said than done. I know that.
Well, in your defense, you took out how much? 200,000 in payouts last year?
I did.
What was the secret to getting to that point? Like, what do you think really clicked at a point where you were like, okay, now I'm like getting payouts?
I mean,
again, like, you know, I'm not hating, but like there was a point where you were struggling.
Oh yeah. So just a little bit of my journey. I started trading in 2022 of December. So technically 2 years, a little bit over 2 years. And I started my channel in April, and I went a full year of no payouts. It was very painful, and especially painful to do it in front of an audience where everyone seems to know better and know more about, know what to do than you do.
So many Warren Buffetts in the chat.
And and there's definitely, it was difficult. Not going to lie. There were definitely times where I was like, man, I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing this. But I decided I was too stubborn. I feel like part of being a good trader is you have to have a little bit of stubbornness.
Stubbornness. That's Amish for stubbornness.
Yes. So I just kept pushing on. But what really changed for me was just to stop doing dumb things. And it's really not, there's no secret, first of all. It's just you have to.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. It seems too easy, but you just have to, like, having a strategy, knowing when to walk away with a red day, and, consistency, just lock in those profits. It adds up over time, and then pay yourself. Don't, for me anyway, if you've never gotten a payout, once you get to a point where you can take a payout, take it. Take everything you can. Because
we know how that
the
goes.
most important part.
You get a day away from a payout, and it's easy to blow up and go on tilt.
Yep.
What so like once you got your first payout, what really, like, did you feel like that was like a huge hurdle to get over? Like you got the payout, you're like, okay, I did it.
Yes, it was a really big, like it felt like the monkey was off my back, because it got to the point where it was almost embarrassing, where I was not getting a payout, and there was multiple times I would get. Like, I would only need like $100 more to get to the point where I can request a payout, and then I would blow up, and so deflating. So finally getting across that threshold and getting that payout, it just felt like I could trade at ease. And I know we talked about it. Confidence is a big part of it. I felt like once I started getting payouts, my confidence got better, and I started trusting what I saw a lot better, and just take it. And it's not always going to work out. We're going to take losses. It's, we got to control our risk, know what our loss and accept it. But second guessing is probably still something I struggle with. It's kind of like this morning. is a good example. Just second guessing and then being hesitant before I get in. So still something I struggle with, but that is very important.
Well, we talked about it at lunch, kind of the idea of like, hey, if you're going to call out a setup, if you're going to see the setup, you got to kind of like, you got to force yourself to take it. So that way in the future, like you're now like, hey, I got to take this setup because I see it. And in the past, like instead of taking the setup, I was cautious. I didn't take the setup. And then I ended up taking the next setup and then ended up losing because, I was hesitant, and like having that confidence. That's honestly the biggest thing for sure, is being able to be able to see that setup and then execute.
Yep, exactly.
In terms of like time, do you have a certain time frame that you normally trade? Like, are you trying to focus on the morning? Do you do, like you said, you kind of sometimes you'll trade at night or in the morning early?
Especially recently. So I struggle trading volatility. Like when the market's really volatile, I struggle with it. And so I usually try to wait until like after 10 o'clock and volatility dies down a little bit and we kind of pick a direction. That's usually, and then afternoon sessions are by far my worst times to trade. And then I do like trading some of the overnight. If we have volatility, we're just going sideways, I try to avoid it, but feel like sometimes the overnight sessions have a cleaner move than the New York sessions recently.
I mean, I won't disagree with you that. It's funny because I talked a little bit on the stream about the idea, obviously, of our rivalry for a minute, and I'll be honest, like you definitely you lit a fire under my ass, right? It was like I got this guy who thinks he's Mr. Transparent fucking YouTuber telling everybody like, oh, Patrick doesn't take payouts. Oh, he's hiding everything. And it wasn't that I was like really hiding anything. It was just like the fact that like I would get so close to a payout and then do exactly what you said. I would just be like, so like my ego would be so driven on the fact that I wanted to get like these big profit days so I could post them on the internet and tell everybody like, hey, look, I made 20 grand a day. But to get a payout with Apex, you only needed to make $3,000 total for that account. So it's just like, I'm swinging for the fence when I don't need to be just because of my ego. And to be honest, like it was good. Like I needed someone like you. I needed people out there that like kind of called out my shit because I was like, all right, like he makes a good point, like I know I can trade. I know I can get payouts. And it's like, but like, why am I, not doing that? And I think the big payout last year that I got was very good for myself because it showed that instead of swinging for the fence every day, like just give me my $1,000 a day, do it consistently for 60 days straight, and that's $600,000 payout. Like I don't need to have like these crazy massive days. I just need to be consistent. And I think a lot of traders forget about that. They try to like really swing for the fence. They want that big massive payout, but that's also like so much pressure on yourself because all of a sudden you're like, I need to make $100,000 a day, but like what for? Like I can't even get a payout. I couldn't even do that. Like the consistency rule, the payout rules, like play the game. Don't try to like make money that you can't even really like take out of the prop firm anyway. What's kind of your advice for a new trader? Should they go and get 20 accounts? Should they go get the eval? Should they do this straight to funded? Like what do you think right now? 2025 prop firm space. What's the best play for someone starting out?
Oh man. I mean, if you're just starting out, for me, I would always say screen time. Like screen time is going to be your number one priority. Like learn and watch how the price moves and reacts, and then keep your cost as low as possible. So if it's trading, trade evals, take your evals seriously, take your time and get that screen time. And then I call it tuition fees, where you're going to be learning. You're going to go through blowups. You're going to go through the struggles of having a difficult time passing an eval. And then you're going to go through struggles of having a difficult time getting across that payout threshold. So just take it slow, one account at a time, prove to yourself that you can get a payout, and then start to build up your accounts and consistently do it. But, I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in social media and seeing the big payouts. But what you don't see is what it took to get there. It didn't happen overnight. So everybody has to put in their own time and their own method, but start out small. Don't swing for the fence right off the rip.
Well, and then see the problem with that as well. I'd say like one thing I'd say for like a beginner is it's, a lot of people, they can make a lot of money in a simulated account, just like,
Right.
Trading a paper account. But as soon as they get into an eval, as soon as they get into a funded account, they just start hitting the, roadblocks.
Yeah.
And what do you think that is?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of simulated trading. To me, it just, even if you, I understand if you want to prove that you have a strategy that works, but we all know 90% of trading is mental. And when you're trading in a sim environment where it does not matter if you take a loss or a win, then you're not exercising that muscle, that mental struggle that we go through, the psychological part of it. So I don't know. I don't feel like there's much value in doing the simulation, at least for long, maybe just to learn how to press the buttons. But after that, you got to start trading when it matters, so you know how you're going to react.
Well, I think that's a great lead into the fact of like, hey, an eval really is like kind of like this test.
Right.
You pay for it. You have to follow the rules. You have to like do something consistently. So an eval really is like probably one of the best ways for a beginner to like really test and see if they're ready for the live markets or if they're ready to even like trade in general. So it's like have one eval, trade it, follow the rules, get it to a point where you pass the eval, and then you're like, oh, wow, like it's working, my strategy's working, because consistency is working. So I love about the prop firms is the barrier to entry is so low.
Exactly.
Like right now, Tradeify, $35, you buy an account, and it's like, like I don't have to put $10,000 of my own money into an account. And then, so that leads me to my next question for you. What do you think about people that they're like, I want to become a day trader, I'm going to quit my job? What would be your advice to that person?
Oh man, don't quit your job, first of all.
Well, you ran a business for the first year of trading, right? On YouTube.
Did. I was 50% owner in a business, and it's not worth the extra stress that you will put yourself under. The more stress and the more pressure you add to yourself, the worse you're going to trade. So keep a job, and there's enough, like the futures market is really only closed for 1 hour of the day from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So a job, you can have a job and still trade and still learn, and there's just no reason to, unless you've proven and you have, the payouts that you can just go out, quit your job and, don't do that until you are, I guess, really ready.
But it's
and
like,
consistent.
The way I look at it too is like day trading is like the ultimate like side job, right? It's literally like it's a skill that you can learn and you can like continue to learn for the next 10 years of your life while also, building a business, while also raising a family. Like it doesn't have to be this end all be all thing. Like spend an hour a day trading, and then after that, like focus on other things. Like too many people, they become consumed with it, and that's where you really will end up ruining your life, because you're so consumed with like making this big profit, getting rich off of trading, that you forget about like your family, you forget about your other business, you forget about the actual job that pays your bills, and all your pressure is now on the fact like I got to make money trading to even pay my rent. And it's like it's not a good place to be. That is a really, really bad place to be at.
Yeah, that is definitely not a good place to be. The more pressure, the worse it turns out usually.
100%. Do you think having kids, having a wife, like being a father, like that motivates you to be successful as a trader?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's kind of like anything else, with a job or not. You want to provide for your family, and, to do that means to be consistent and, not to do dumb things. Even though I've done them, but it helps to keep you stable, I guess, just to know what really matters.
What you're fighting for.
What you're fighting for. And at the end of the day, I always say too, if you have a terrible day, you blow up accounts, it's not the end of the world either. It's, you still have family, and you can get those accounts back. I know sometimes in the moment things seem very bad, but it just really helps keeps things in perspective.
Well, the great thing is now the prop firm space is becoming so competitive that there really are so many good options.
Yeah.
Like it used to, like, when did you start trading prop firms?
So
2 years ago?
I would have started basically 2 years ago.
Yeah. So like 2 years ago, like it was like Top Step was still 2-step.
Right.
You know, like
Yes.
there was still a lot of like weird kind of like there's a lot of hurdles to get through. Like it was hard to get funded 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like insanely easy to get funded.
Yeah, Apex kind of came in and changed the game. You know, they kind of forced Top Step into doing the one step, and you know, since then, competition has just made the space better. But we've also learned there's a limit. You know, there is a limit if you start seeing prop firms that are offering no rules, 20 accounts, then red flag, probably don't want to go that route.
Well,
So
you know, it's not a secret, but at the end of the day, prop firms make money off of people losing. So it's like,
Exactly.
you got to look at it like, okay, how can I be different than the 90% that lose? Because, you know, prop firms only stay in business people are losing. So it's like, I've got to figure out what people are doing wrong and just do pretty much the exact opposite. And like you said, probably, you know, one of the best things to do is just like trade consistently, trade just like a normal human being. I think it's like funny like just trade like a normal human being. You know, don't put on 100 contracts on the first day that you're funded.
Right. Yeah. I remember, like it's like the easiest, hardest thing you'll ever do. And I still remember when I was getting into the space and I had a friend of mine and they asked me, like, I was trying to explain to them trading, you know, and it's so crazy how simple it really is. Cause I was showing him on my chart and I'm like, so if I click this button right here and it goes down, you make money. If you click here and it goes up, you make money. And the amazement in his eyes were just like, really? Like, that's it? You know, and it seems so simple and he was so innocent but it's so crazy how it's more than that. But it really is simple, but we are our own worst enemy. And that mental part of it is that hurdle. And honestly, that's the secret. That's the secret in trading is understanding that you are the problem or I am the problem, not.
Yeah, it's not me. It's you.
Yeah. It's true.
A little bit more about NuttyBar. I don't know how much you want to share, but I heard you got a pretty sweet pontoon boat. Well, tell us, what's a good weekend for NuttyBar during the summer with the pontoon?
So one of the things I love is I love camping, taking the family out camping, and it just creates great memories that last a lifetime. Going out on the pontoon, getting a camper and camping. It's just I love it.
I mean, you got to obviously be very, very thankful for the opportunity that YouTube has provided. I mean, I would say you have a pretty amazing story to the fact of like, you know, you were Amish, you got out of that, you started a family, you had a business, and then you kind of were like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And you had you weren't like, I'm going to become a millionaire from YouTube. You were just like, I'm going to start it and maybe I'll watch the videos of myself in 10 years.
Right. I really did. I really was. My goal was to have 1,000 subscribers at the end of 1 year. And I was like, I remember doing the YouTube math and I was like, at 1,000 subscribers, I think I can make $200 a month.
Ooh, yeah.
And I was like, I guess I'll keep doing it, you know. But
were you doing the math where it's like, if I get 1,000 subscribers every year, within 75 years, I'll have 75,000 subscribers.
Yeah. But you know what actually helps also is just to not like. I tried to going into it. I was like, I'm gonna be me. And if people watch, great. If people don't watch, it's okay too. And then I guess I'll be able to go back and watch my journey.
Yeah.
And I'll just have something for myself.
What do you think? What do you say to the haters out there? Obviously, we both got some. I don't know what it is about being a ginger, but people just hate us.
Yeah, I
think it's because we're just so good looking, and they're just like jealous.
I always get the ones that they crack me up is the ones that like they come after. They find everything and everything to come after people. And honestly, I started to just, I don't really care. Like, I truly was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not worth my time. And I've found the more time you give them, the more that the more they speak.
They want attention.
But
they're like little children that just want attention. That's why the way I look at it. If they ain't talking about you, it means you're also not doing anything right. So that's
true.
Know, the famous last words of if you've got 10 haters, you better figure out how to get 10 more. But it's hard because as YouTubers, like we want to focus on the good, but it's defeating. You make a sick video, you're all happy about it, you post it, and then there's like 2 comments that are like, "You suck. This is the worst video ever." And you're like, "All right, thanks for that." And it's like that person literally they spent 5 seconds to write that comment, and it's like you spent maybe 2 or 3 hours to film a video, and then it's like someone just blatantly just going, "This video sucks." And you're like, "Wow, okay, thanks for that."
Yeah, you're gonna have that.
What's it been like at the BDH for the last 2 days?
Honestly, it's been great. Patrick, you've been a great host. Thank you for making me feel welcome, and just thank you for everything. Your whole team here has been great. And
the people out there, is the myth of Patrick Wieland being a huge gigantic asshole? Is that the myth, or what's the story there?
No,
you gotta help me out here.
I don't want to
butter my bread, boy.
Yeah, he's actually kind of nice. So yeah, no, he's been great, and it's definitely different than what you see on camera sometimes. So, but it's been awesome, and I would highly recommend it if you're thinking about coming here. It's a good time.
Well, I think there's already enough bad or hard, like there's already enough bad stuff going on. Or, like there's enough enemies that we already have. Like the world already creates enough enemies for us. It's like the last thing that we need to do is like create enemies with like other traders and like other YouTubers, and like everyone's kind of going through their own shit. Everyone's going through their own path, and you got to just be like aware, right? Everyone's kind of like no one really knows exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So it's like to just like go, I'm trying to be better about it. I've kind of made that like my goal for 2025. I'm obviously always going to go after ICT because he's going to always get it. But other people, like I'm here to, not even that I want to be like positive, but I'm just like, hey, if somebody wants to do a certain thing a certain way, then like more power to them. I don't really need to like go after them because I think what they're doing is not the right way to go about it. So, I do want to say publicly, even on here with you, Nutty, is I do feel, after meeting you and everyone I've talked to, I was telling Victoria last night, I was like, I kind of really feel bad. Like I feel bad that, like I kind of went after Nutty the way that I am, because you are just a really cool, just genuine guy. So, looking back, obviously, like I could have done things differently, and I wish, obviously, like I can't really go back in time now and do that, but I do feel that it's just not needed. It's a lot of energy wasted in the wrong ways. So, not to be all emotional and like positive thinking here, I'm still like fuck everybody, but hey, when it comes to NuttyBar, he's got my check of approval. I respect him, and I'm looking forward to see those big payouts this year. What are you going for? $1 million?
Man.
You got $1 million this year.
Why not? I mean, I would
20 accounts, baby. 20 accounts.
That would seem
just
like
consistency,
a
baby.
dream, but right
I
now,
think it's
honestly,
possible.
we just need to. I'm trying to get better every day.
Did you think you'd make 200,000 last year?
No, I didn't. I didn't even set a goal. I remember, heading into last year after not getting a payout for a full year, and someone would tell me you're going to get 200,000. I was like, yeah, right. So I guess never say
no
never.
offense, but I definitely would have. I would have bet against that. I'm like, there's no fucking way he's getting a payout.
Valid. It would have been valid. So,
but no, hey, I remember that like you had a point where you're like, guys, I'm not going to stream for a few weeks because I'm working on a new strategy. And you were like aware of that. You were self-aware because like this is not working. So I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I'm going to just like focus on my strategy, work on that, and then I'll come back to streaming. And it felt like once you came back, that was when you got to those payouts, right?
Yeah, and it was also just alleviating a little bit of the pressure, like try not to like put myself under as much pressure, remove as much pressure from the situation and from trading as I could. That really helps as well. That really helped as well. And then getting that first payout, then from there it just got easier. It just got easier somehow.
Well, now you've done it, so like you know exactly how to do it again,
right?
Like it's not like you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just doing exactly what you did last year. So like you made 200,000 last year, you do it again, make 200,000, and then you go 400, and then you go 600. I mean, hell, I did in 2020. 3, I got like $40,000 in payouts at Top Step.
Okay.
And
you
then
went
in
from
2024, almost over 800,000.
That's what I say.
I did 100,000 with Top Step in just a month in 2024.
Yep.
I mean, so it just grows. And all that I changed was just like you said, I stopped doing stupid shit.
Right.
That's funny because when you said that, I was laughing because I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
exactly what I said.
That's what's so crazy. Like, I think people hear that and they think like that's
you're
not
just like, it's
that's not
bullshit.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But
They have a secret.
right, but
the
it
prop
really
firms
isn't.
just pay them out because they're YouTubers.
Oh yeah, that's always the good one.
The truth is, all the prop firms hate NuttyBar. Just kidding.
You know, you never know. I mean, sometimes I wonder, but we won't get into that part.
Oh, there we go. Well, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend, and I'm looking forward. It'd be sick to get, like I said, Alpine and you down here one time, maybe before you go back to Ohio. A little snowbird action, you know.
Let's do it.
So big thank you for coming over and taking time away from your family and your wife and everything and come and hang out with us for 2 days. So again, anytime you want to come stop by the BDH, you're welcome. And I look forward to, like I said, I look forward to putting up more payouts so that you can put them on your stream.
Let's go.
But I want to see more payouts from NuttyBar in 2025 here.
Let's go.
I mean, it just makes sense. 25, I think, like you can make like,
let's
250 at least.
You can make 2 million and I'll settle for 1 million.
That's pretty good. I'll do that. I'm in. Let's go.
do it.
All right, there it is. Big thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy these videos, let us know down in the comments below. Also, check out NuttyBar. He's live streaming all the time in the closet. I don't know what he's doing in there. We don't look, but he's in the closet doing his thing. And we're not judging around here. We're all for everybody just kind of making money however they make it. So there it is. Again, big thank you for tuning in the live streams. Everything's been popping off and good energy, good vibes. And I will see you guys on the next one here with the BDH Trader Talks. Peace to the Middle East.